So welcome everybody to the the Maddie and Tiffany oak meditation. But what I was just starting to say, so first of all, apologies for my voice, and fingers crossed and knock wood and do all the things. I should be okay and not go into a coughing fit. If I do, I will mute. So if the music goes silent, it's just because I don't want that to interrupt the meditation. But for those of you who have done the previous meditations, this is, I thought it was in the 40-foot storage container, but I was going through my bookshelves looking for something else, and I found the book. Let me get in close. This is the Celtic tree calendar poem cycle by Beryl Begant, I guess. So she's from Canada, London, Ontario. I love it. I'm so happy because it's her poems that I usually use to guide into the meditations. So I didn't grab it this time. Let me see if I can get it quickly. That we are now in the time of oak. Where is our oak here? DUIR, oak. And this is the image from the wisdom of the trees. So we will say goodbye to Hawthorne. Thankfully, say goodbye to Hawthorne, I will say, because, well, we've been talking about it. I found the whole time of Hawthorne incredibly challenging. Just incredibly challenging. So we move from that time of challenge into the time of oak. And it certainly follows through, right? Out of the challenge comes the strength. So let me invite you to get into meditation stance. I'm going to share the screen. This is a, oh wait, I've got to stop that for a moment because I need to put on the different sound. So this is a beautiful, beautiful Welsh oak. Look at how just that incredible, incredible solid trunk there. Take many hands to span that. So just start to focus on your breath. This poem, Oak, Dear Old Mother, for Mary Elizabeth Jones. Please just excuse my laryngitis voice. So it starts with a quote from Robert Goss. The oak tree dreams, rocked into troubled sleep by the movement of the wind in her branches. And the poem is, from small beginnings, she grew, an acorn determinedly rooted in native soil. There was a time when yellow ribbons in her hair fell into a Tau cross, And she ran away on Shikshack Day to reclaim the hidden access for Charles. There was a time when May came in mists, and she remembered harvest moons of strength and joy and triple cream on the milk and ecstatic dancing at nightfall. There was a time when she was wild enchantress, her flowers disclosing dormancy of fruit. Her dreams were leafy and hospitable. She was Diana, a desirer of darkness, a dwelling for the black dove of life. There was a time when she needed no props to shore up her elegance, a time when kings of the wood nestled in her arms, leaned into her ambience, declining to bud until she blessed their yearning roots. There was a time when she watched the acorns, magnificent replicas on her branches, migrate, discover autonomy in another land. She was the daire for many, the hinge of the year, looking backwards and beyond, diffusing shadows of dryadic abundance, withstanding the lightning blasts of wars, opening doors to slow maturation, longevity, closing blinds with acorn bobbins, shielding her kin, influencing victories. She dreams all the time now. She tells me nighttime, daytime naps, when her mother bends over her and together they summon the groves of childhood, hewn down by the axe, and those who fell by the wayside, their forms eternal, existing forever. Breathe into oak, into daire. Allow the wisdom to flow over you. Invite journey to seek guidance. And just before we start the journey back, just take another moment or two to just be open to any final reflections, any final insights or messages to you from Oak. Something to carry forth through this time of Oak. Takes us through the next little bit. Bring your awareness back to your breath. To the inhale and the exhale. Following the flow. Following the movement of your breath from within back out to the manifest world, to the place where you sit, to the here and the now. And taking one more deep centering breath, feeling yourself return solidly to your body. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes. And welcome back. So, I'll share just a little. I actually have a couple of things that I want to share here. So we just sort of come back to this space with our experiences of Oak and the messages from Oak. I have, this is the image from Karen Cater, which I love, and it's on the post on the aisle. You can see the little oak catkins almost, and the lightning. Oak is associated with lightning. What could draw, it resists it, but it also apparently draws it in a lot. So if there's a storm in the area, don't run for the oak tree. I'm shielding up the oak tree. But this is something that I also just picked up on the weekend by Simon Lilly. I love the work of the lilies. So the tree spirit oracle, I also do have the cards. It's not exactly an ohm. It's not an ohm at all. I mean, you can see the image that they have for oak. Doesn't resemble an ohm at all, but they've got a lot of really great information on all the ohm trees, plus a lot of other ones as well. And so this is oak stability, helping us with issues around patience, keywords being steadiness, equilibrium, slow but sure progress, practicality, manifestation, stability, security, ability to really focus on activity, and having the patience to be able to succeed. So I found myself in this meditation. It was really, the timing is very interesting. I was just away last week at Hay-on-Wye, which is that town in South Wales, not too far away from Cardiff, that is basically like a bookstore. It's all used books. There's so many bookstores. And actually it used to be all bookstores, but as having spent some time there, we were there for about 3 days, I said it's an old stuff town. So there's a couple of like old vinyl record shops where you can get LPs on vinyl, and they have tons of them, and antiques as well. So anything that's kind of old and still wanting to be loved, you can find there. So there's certainly this sense of longevity that is inherent in the town itself. But there's also Hay Castle, and Hay Castle was built, I think, was it in the 1300s? Lady Matilda, it is said, built Hay Castle in one night by carrying the stones in her apron, except for one stone that fell out of her apron and landed on her toe, and she was so annoyed that she picked it up and she threw it across the river, and that's where now I think there's a church that is in the place where that stone landed. But anyway, she is said to have built this castle. And the doors of the castle are the oldest original doors in all of the UK. I think I'm remembering that right. Yeah, it would be all of the UK because we were in Wales. So those doors date from the 1300s. And they're oak. They're 700 years old. So imagining that the doors themselves are 700 years old, but those doors would have been made from trees that were older than that still, because they're massive doors. So, I mean, the oak is the longest living of the trees, one of the longest living. So it could be a couple of 100 years on top of that. And so again, just sort of recognizing that they were used because they were strong, because they provided safe barriers, and there is this longevity that comes as well. So I certainly had that sense in the meditation, of being able to drop into that within self, as a message from oak, that has always been there, that has always served to, sort of that core of who you are, the strength and the core of who you are, and that serves you in good stead, but that also serves as that which can be protection or provide stability, when you are in, doors provide thresholds, but they also provide a barrier. They can let people in, or they can keep out what, you know, doesn't need to be in. And so finding that thing within self that will allow us to access that as well. The other couple of things that I wanted to share, just coming from some of the research and some of the books. Ogham, Weaving Word Wisdom by Erynn, Rowan, Laurie. Firmness, endurance, also connect with truth and skill, gateways and thresholds, and of course there is a connection with oak, with Brigid, Kildare, which has the sacred well of Brigid. Kildare is the church of the oak. There's also, the Druids, also coming from that word DUIR, Druids as being those who are oak-wise. And so again, that sense of just the stability and the wisdom, the strength that comes from there. And then Steve Blamires in Celtic Tree Mysteries also aligns oak with successful completion of personal growth. There certainly is that image of got the acorn here. The potential of the mighty oak, which is contained in the acorn. And then the mighty oak itself, as it alludes to in the poem, also contains that, those new beginnings of the acorn to be. So both at the beginning and at the completion, they inform each other. So that's my sharing. Maddie, did you want to share, or I can stop the recording as well?
Sure.
Yeah.
You can stop the recording if you want to, but I don't care if just.
Hey, yeah, no, I'll keep it going then. It's always lovely to hear different perspectives.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing that, Tiffany. It was really beautiful. And the oak tree has always been one of my favorite trees. I love the shape of the leaves. I love the beautiful, sweet acorns. I love the colors that the leaves turn in the fall. And I just like that it's a big, sturdy, powerful tree. And so for me, since I'm not feeling well and I'm feeling weak, I found myself drifting back into its bark and like leaning against it, against the trunk of the tree. And I felt the spirit of the oak, the strength, just cradle me and rock me and hold me in this beautiful, calm strength, and kind of giving the message that, you're going to be okay. And it's okay that you feel weak right now. And just this message of, but it's not like a you go girl thing. It wasn't that at all. It was just this beautiful nurturing, holding me in this strength. And I could feel that for me, the oak tree feels grounded here in the earth in a very different way than most trees. I mean, some of the trees, you find kind of on the earth or with the earth, or above, more above than below, or vice versa. But with oak, it feels in perfect balance, below as above, and it anchors here in a not totally unique way, but in an unusual way. And that feeling of anchoredness helped me to just feel more safe and at peace, and to just rest into that wisdom and that strength. And so for me, the feeling was more about its strength and its calm and its balance than its wisdom. And so I really appreciated just feeling nurtured like that.
Yeah. No, I love that certainly looking at it on all of those levels, that there's the anchoring of that physical strength, and just sort of holding that place and drawing deep from the roots, to give that physical energy for healing. And but then there's also that emotional side to it as well, of that strength and fortitude that one can draw upon. And even, with the lilies, talking about, patience, that's like a mental strength. I did have a sense, I looked at, when I first opened up my eyes and I looked at the image, all of a sudden I saw my dad, and my dad used to always say, "This too shall pass. This too shall pass." Right?
That's
And
funny because that's what a lot of my guides say to me every so often, or me, my higher self too, is that's one of my mantras is this too shall pass. So
yeah,
everything is flowing and everything is temporary. And but that's funny that it came to you too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's that patience. And also when you think about something that has, like those doors 700 years old, it's like they're like, yeah, this is going to pass because we have seen this come and go so many times. So we're not going to get in a flap about it. Um, and so again, there's that mental strength as well. So it really does, touch on all of those levels.
Mhm.
I do think, because I just, always find it interesting just to pay attention to the patterns. I think it's very funny that the two people who showed up for today's in person are the two people who are very sick.
I know that's funny. That is an interesting synchronicity that, or the live ones are the ones that don't feel as alive.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I like that as well. Just I certainly had that sense of just leaning against, and there was such a bulk to the trunk of that tree, and you just felt like, okay, like this tree has my back, right?
Mhm.
And I can draw upon that strength. I'm just gonna say you have a beautiful rainbow in your hair.
Oh, I can't see my
Well, when you lean
so
forward, it disappears, but when
here's
you're sitting back like that, yeah,
that's
you can
funny.
see it.
It's kind of you're sitting sort of in the sun and I'm sitting in the sun. The sun's coming in through my office window. Of course, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10:45 here, so it's a lot earlier. But it must be
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
casting that light through the windows.
Well, you're getting the morning light just coming in, and I'm getting the setting sun just going down.
Oh, well, that's really
So
beautiful. I love that. So we got both
yeah,
the light at both ends. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
wonderful. Um, so I guess we'll leave it there for today.
Okay.
Um, I know that this is the last of the Om meditations that has been posted. I just hadn't gotten to doing the next ones yet, but I will do that over the next couple of days. And because now I've got a better sense of what my schedule is, there won't be changes in the timing, so we should be right. You won't find different timings in different places, but um,
Well, it all
yeah.
works, and thank you for doing it. However it is, however it has is always perfect. I trust that it's the way it's supposed to be. So thank you for doing this with your scratchy throat, and I
Oh,
hope you
yeah.
get better soon. It's no fun.
Yeah, yeah, and you as well. You as well.
Yep, yeah.
Well, thank you, Maddie, for coming,
Okay.
and I will say, and thank you to everybody who's watching it. I will say goodbye on the recording now. We'll see you for the next one,
Okay.
and
Bright
that's
blessings.